Concealed Void is a lost sector on Europa, and it's one of the locations that you can get the Beyond Light Exotic Armour pieces if you run the Legend or Master versions. Well, today I'm going to walk you through step by step how to tackle this lost sector, so if it appears on the daily rotation, you're going to have all the info that you need to know to get a chance at getting that exotic armour. Well, if you like this video and find it useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, first of all, today I'm going to be going through the Concealed Void lost sector, and then I'll briefly touch on preparing for Legend and Master lost sectors, plus how you can access them, and finally check out some of the exotic armour that is on offer. Well, first up, let's have a look at some preparation, weapons, mods and power level. So before you go in, you're going to want to do a certain amount of preparation. So when you hover over the icon for the Concealed Void lost sector on Europa, you'll be able to see the requirements, and it's important to note the champions and also the shield types. For example, when looking at the Concealed Void lost sector, champions were Overload and Barrier. Therefore, you want to make sure you have anti-barrier and overload mods for your weapons, and these mods can be found on the seasonal artifact. So unlock the mods on your seasonal artifact and then place them on your armour before you go in, otherwise it's going to be difficult or near impossible to beat the champions inside that lost sector. So once you understand the requirements, then you want to select a decent loadout that matches the requirements. So I've selected Arctic Haze as an auto rifle, and I'm going to have a matching anti-barrier auto rifle mod to take care of anti-barrier champions. For my overload champions, I'm going to be using Fatebringer and the overload hand cannon mod, and also the burn is solar damage, which is one of the reasons why I've selected Arctic Haze, as this is a decent auto rifle, plus you get the anti-barrier benefits and also the solar benefits too, so it's really going to help us tear through those shields in no time at all. For the power weapon, I've chosen Anarchy, as this is going to help deal damage over time, and is probably the best weapon for dealing with bosses in Legend or Master lost sectors. I'm also using a mod called Breach and Clear from the seasonal artifact, and that really helps deal with champions and bosses too. So before you go in, check out the requirements of the lost sector and craft a build that allows you to beat the champions and break the shields, otherwise that difficult activity is going to be made near impossible. So finally, the power requirements, and Season of the Splicer, Legend lost sectors are 1310 and Master are 1314. You can go in under-leveled, it's going to make your life pretty tough, so it's best to level up and reach as close as you can to the power level requirements before you go in. Well, next up, let's have a look at a step-by-step guide of how to complete the Concealed Void lost sector. So this one can be found on Europa, and when you first load into the lost sector, the first thing you're going to have to deal with is a bunch of fallen shanks and some dregs. There's also an overload captain hiding behind the wall, so what you want to do is use your overload weapons. In my case, this was the Fatebringer hand cannon, and take him out as quickly as you can. What I tend to do is stun the champion via the overload weapon, and then send a few anarchy shots in their direction, and it kills them pretty quickly. But once they're stunned, I have a few anarchy bolts attached, a few more hand cannon shots, and they'll take it out nice and fast. So once you've got rid of the overload captain, you're going to need to turn the corner, and here there's going to be dregs with solar shields. Take them out with your solar weapon, and then you've got the big heavy shank to deal with, and some vandal snipers off in the distance. So pop the shields of the huge shank with your energy weapon, take out the vandals, being careful of their sniper shots, and then what you want to do is jump up through the gap, and it's on to the next section of the lost sector. So the next big obstacle in your path is going to be the barrier servitor, and he's going to be providing protective shields to other shanks and dregs. And there's also a captain in the distance which is going to be giving you some trouble, plus you're going to have some grenades coming in left, right and centre. What I would do is take out the captain first with a few well placed anarchy shots. So a little tip, so check out these shields on the enemies, and they're going to glow in different colours: orange for solar, purple for void and light blue for arc, and our captain here has arc shields. So once you've dealt with that captain, try and take out the barrier servitor ASAP using your anti-barrier weapons, and careful, he's going to be providing shields to the shanks which are going to try and attack you at the same time, so do take out that servitor as soon as you can, and the servitor is going to teleport all over the place, but keep an eye on him, focus your fire and take out the remaining enemies. Well, next jump over to the platforms and then jump up to the right where that captain was before. So over the way there's another big shank with shields to take care of, and in my case this was a solar shield, so I popped it with my Arctic Haze, and then fired off a few anarchy shots and finished it off with the auto rifle. And then it's simply a matter of just mopping up the other smaller enemies around him. So jump over to the platform where the big shank was hanging out, and you're going to have some snipers and an overload captain to deal with, And I'd say it's probably best to take care of the snipers first, otherwise you're not going to be able to get a clear shot on that overload captain. So stun the captain with your overload weapons, shoot a few anarchy shots in there to finish him off, and then it's on to the next section. So when you jump up to where the snipers were previously, there's a few wretches in there which are going to rush you with spears. What you can do is jump and peek shoot them to protect yourself, otherwise you might die. So take care and take them out and move on to the next section. This bit here is a little bit of a trap, as you've got a corridor with an overload captain plus loads of exploding shanks. So they're hiding in there at first. So what you want to do is run in there and tease out the exploding shanks and then run backwards, and that is going to draw all of the exploding shanks out into the open so you can kill them nice and easy. Don't rush into the corridor, as they're going to simply swarm on you and explode and you're going to die. But take out the overload captain as you have done before with well-placed hand cannon shots and anarchy, and that should finish him off nice and quickly. Well, next up we've got the boss area, so continue down through the underground parts of Europa, and the boss room is going to be filled with dregs and wretches. Look out for them and take them out. But once you do that, the boss is going to appear. Try to get some well-placed anarchy shots onto him before retreating, and what I did was sit back near the entrance to use my bubble as a titan for protection, whilst getting off a few anarchy shots to the boss room. So what you can do is jump up and down near the entrance if you're getting overwhelmed by enemies, so you don't have to go in there all guns blazing. And there are loads of enemies in there with loads of shields as well, so it can get quite frantic, but keep an eye on the time, take it slow and methodically, and pick off the enemies one by one. So once you've done this, open up the chest and congrats, you are done. And hopefully the exotic loot will drop for you. If it didn't drop the first time, hopefully these tactics can give you a few pointers so you can start to speed run that lost sector. And I find the exotic loot tends to drop for me after a few runs, so if you're not lucky on the first attempt, don't give up, just try again and you'll get that loot. Well, next up, I just wanted to touch on how to access Legend and Master Lost Sectors. So to be able to access Legend and Master Lost Sectors, you have to do a couple of things. So first, reach 1200 power level, and then you want to beat the Lost Sectors on regular difficulty, so all of them on the Cosmodrome, Europa, Moon and the Tangled Shore. So getting to 1200 power should be fairly straightforward. Just go out there and play the game, and the drops from any activity are going to help you power up. The public event strikes the Crucible, and all drops are going to contribute towards getting to higher power levels. Once you've done that, just run through the Lost Sectors on regular mode and unlock the Legend versions, and when you've unlocked them, they'll be indicated on the map by a blue icon with a sword and shield. And don't forget, they do rotate daily, and you can check out a really good website called Today in Destiny, and that will tell you the 2 Lost Sectors that are active that day. Well, next let's have a look at the Exotic Armour reward. So each day at reset time, the location rotates for the Lost Sectors, and once you've opened them up by doing them on normal difficulty, you'll notice them on the map. So each day the rewards are going to rotate too, with head, arms, legs and chest armour on offer each day. So this season, in Season of the Splicer, we've had leg armour added, so we've got Path of the Burning Steps, therefore Titan. So this comes with Firewalker, Solar Final Blows periodically grant you escalating bonus to weapon damage. You're harder to slow or freeze with stasis. When you break out, you take no damage from doing so, creating a burst of solar energy around yourself. We've got these Star Eater scales for the hunters, so this one comes with Feast of Light, and you gain an additional super energy from orbs of power that you pick up. And while your super energy is full, picking up an orb of power overcharges your super, causing you to gain a burst of healing when cast and bonus to your super damage. And at maximum overcharge, you also gain an overshield. We've also got Boots of the Assembler. These are for the Warlocks, so here you got Blessing of Order. So standing in an empowering rift creates Noble Seekers that grant both you and your ally a damage bonus, and each time a Noble Seeker finds an ally, the duration of your rift is briefly extended while you're standing in it. So there's loads of other exotic armour pieces to get hold of, and what I'll do, I'll play a trailer at the end of the video so you can check those out. You've got the Cuirass of the Falling Star for Titans, Omniculus for the Hunters, Mantle of Battle Harmony for the Warlocks, plus the Precious Scars, Mask of Bacchus, Icefall Mantle, Arthritis Embrace, and the Necrotic Grip. But let me know down in the comments what you think of the guide for the Concealed Void Lost Sector on Europa. Plus, if you've got any tips for beating the Legend and Master Lost Sectors, please do share them with the community. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching, and for more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.